Briggs, sports consultant and mentor. Today's question that I was asked was, how do I get my kid introduced into sports? And this is a great thing. And specifically, you could even go to like, how young should they start? I'm a big person on believing that 5 to 6 is a time frame where they should start being introduced to sports in general. But I'm going to break down specifically what I think you should be doing step by step to keep them engaged and also give them way more exposure. So for the first thing is the age, right? 5 or 6 is that good time frame to introduce them to motor skills and movements, right? So many times parents will put kids into certain sports, and the sports they put them into are the sports that the parents are familiar with. And this is always great, right? Because the parent knows logistics, has good contacts, things like that. But it's also very important to make sure that you're introducing them into sports that are also outside of the norm. Right. So, for example, the question that was asked specifically was that the parent and the child were watching the Olympics, and there were multiple sports that the kid was like, I'm interested in this and that looks cool, and etc. Right. So now that just kind of gives you an idea that kids, once they see what's in front of them, they can kind of start to move towards those specific sports, even though the sports that we played might be our passion, right? And we want to pass those passions on to our kids. However, giving them also choices to choose from is very supportive. So the first thing that I do want to say that is most important before even getting into the sport is going to be to have the kids, whenever they do sports, is learn motor skills. Make sure it's a sport that teaches them how to use their body prior to the ball in the sport. Here's what I mean: track and field, gymnastics. Um, these are the two main sports that teach you how to use your body first in motor skills. Yes, we have basketball, soccer, baseball. These are all sports that are very in the year. However, they don't really spend as much time teaching stop, where your hands go. Remember, if your kid is 5 or 6 years old, they just started learning how to walk and run. So when you go straight from learning how to run to putting a ball on your foot or running to a base, it's a lot of things going on, right? Especially softball or t-ball, it's a lot going on. So when you really break it down to, let's focus on how to start, stop, change directions, use my knee, what's my thigh, what's the knee for, what are my hands for, like all these basic coordination movement skills are going to be key. The next thing I want to go into are going to be making sure that you're taking introductory levels. It's very easy to have a competitive parent and also a kid who's really competitive and then put them in competitive sports. Well, the conflict there is now it's focused on winning and losing and points and etc. versus just let me make mistakes. Let me see what I do and don't like. Let me see what my strong points are. So having them in very remedial classes, YMCA, Boys and Girls Club, just something that kind of gets them introduced to the sport and it takes away from the pressure. You don't want to go into a competitive youth 6-year-old team and now it's like, I got to be the best, when the reality is you're still learning a lot of new things, right? The next thing I want to go over is make sure that they're in multiple sports. So try many things. It could be basketball, baseball, and that's why the rec sports are usually the best, simply because they have seasonal. It's 8 weeks to 10 weeks. It's a shorter time frame to where the athlete can get a feel for a beginning and end. It's not, let's put you in soccer and you're going to be in soccer for the next 18 years, right? Then from there, the biggest thing I think within the sport itself, when you do choose a sport for them to try, is make sure that it's like not, I don't want to say not organized, but I do want to say it's more lax, right? It's let's just learn, let's play, let's learn the ethics, learn how to communicate with your team. It's really based on just the fundamentals of the social aspect, just a lot of more free play. It should be based around play, should be fun, should be enticing. Shouldn't be to where they're finishing practice or finishing a game and they're just done for the day. It should be more of, I made some friends, even the team I played against is now my best friend, keeping that in mind as well. Then the last thing I do want to say is, oh, another way to introduce your athlete to sports is by hopping on YouTube, watching the stories, the success stories of basketball players, the journey of how a tennis player started here and developed, like showing those stories kind of connects not just the sport to them, but it connects the journey, right? Because this is the lifestyle they're going to end up picking up. And if you say, okay, I'm going to do soccer, well, then that's great. Now, what have athletes in soccer accomplished? Once you plant this seed with the athletes and they've seen an athlete start from a young age, just as them, and then they progress through high school and college and pro, when they see these stories, they start to figure out, oh, okay, so I can do this throughout my years versus I need to be that good as a pro right now. So introducing all these things, not just slowly, but page by page, day by day, opening these things up is really going to support them with learning and having so much fun. So hopefully that answered your question. And if you have any other questions, please ask them and I'll be responding to them just like this until I can't answer any more, but I'll most likely be able to answer more. All right. Till next time.